Good morning. Well, welcome back to deTuned. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got a stacked show, so I'm going to just kick her off real quick here. No wasting time today. So, first of all, last week, Justin Trudeau, our lovely Prime Minister, told a story to Vice in front of a crowd of people about how his father got his brother out of a pot charge using his connections, got himself a really good lawyer, spoke to some people, and did this to avoid basically ruining his brother's life for the rest of his future. Now, obviously, this is not really a big deal. I think we all know how the system works in terms of good lawyers and connections, and it's pretty much how it is everywhere for a long time. It's nothing new. However, it is kind of funny because of Trudeau's position on this whole pot legal status thing. So I'm just going to play for you a clip of what he said just a couple weeks ago in regards to upholding the law until the new law has been put into place. And like I said, it's not a big deal. I just think it's absolutely hilarious that this guy's one day he's saying uphold the law is the law. You know, if you're going to get caught with it, you're going to have to pay those repercussions, pay those consequences now. Unfortunately, until we change the law, we can't do anything for you, and we may look later at helping people with pot charges down the road, but that's obviously not their priority. The priority is just changing the law, legalizing it, not decriminalizing it, legalizing and regulating it. But they will not really have any immediate plans to dismiss anybody or pardon anyone that does have pot charges. So I don't think anybody should be looking forward to that. So that's why this is funny. So just check out what he said a couple weeks ago, again, at a speech here.
Mr. Prime Minister, the Prince of Pot, Mark Emery, I was there at the opening yesterday, and they gave out free samples, which in and of itself is illegal in the criminal code. But they did say that they were thinking of opening a pot shop in your riding. Would you be, how would you feel about that, number one? And do you also agree with their equivalency that you're just as much of a criminal as they would be if they were arrested for something like this?
The fact is, the law is very clear, and until we've changed the law, the current laws exist and apply. The reason we are legalizing and controlling marijuana is not for any other reason than to better protect our kids and to remove the black market, the criminal elements, the organized crime from profiting massively from the sale of cannabis. Those are the two reasons we are doing this. And we will get this done properly and responsibly because that's what Canadians expect us to do. And until we have changed the law, the current laws apply.
All right, so again, we heard that, and and then on one end he's bragging about how his father used his connections to get his brother out of a pot charge. So again, I'm going to leave it at that. All what I'm saying is that's hilarious. That's just hilarious. A lot of us don't have that luxury, Mr. Trudeau. Thank you for rubbing it in our face. Also, we have Mayor John Tory now, who is saying that, he said at the Canadian Music Week summit there last Friday morning that he wants the City Hall to play a bigger role in Toronto's music scene. I mean, that is awesome. Venues are closing up all over the place, and he mentioned this. He said that, he understands that he is saying this while all this is happening. However, other venues are opening, such as the reopening of the Hideout. And I mean, yeah, that's cool. The Hideout's a staple. But there's some other stuff at play here. I mean, we do have the completely crazy real estate market in Toronto that is definitely playing a factor in this. I know that they have now slapped a tax on foreign investors. I'm not sure what the exact numbers on that is at the moment. I don't have it in front of me, but I know that they have went ahead with a tax for that to try to cool that down a little bit. But it's crazy, and it's affecting, unfortunately, it's affecting some of our staple venues, as well as many other factors. I will say in one case, before I move on, I just want to say in regards to the real estate, you have rent control and things like that, which are for residents, residential people. When it comes to businesses, there's no rent control. There's no rent protection on that. These businesses can be subject to insane increases, and when that happens, that's actually a really common factor in why a lot of your favorite places tend to shut down from time to time is generally because of these types of things. So yes, unfortunately what happens is, these places get shut down, our favorite stores, restaurants, or venues, sadly, and they get shut down. They get made into things like condos, things like Shoppers Drug Marts and CIBC banks and things of that sort, Subway restaurants and whatnot. There is another weird thing going on here, though. Like I did say, moving on, is the what happened in Oakland, California at the Ghost Ship, where it was really tragic. Many people died, and it was fire regulations were a factor. Lack of fire escape, I guess, methods or access to fire escapes was inhibited, and many people died. There was a massive fire. It was really tragic. And there was the message board, 4chan, famous message board, known, where the famous anonymous group organized at first. So there's some people that went on a bit of a rant on there, and basically saying, basically really demonizing these heavy metal venues, greasy venues, if you will. Some of our staple venues around North America that are, we don't call them DIYs. They're being called DIYs all over the news right now. I mean, these are staple punk rock, heavy metal venues that most of us call home in the music scene. Like one comment was made, they're these DIY venues, open cesspools of radicalism and liberal degeneration. Okay. Here's this comment was actually from the founder of Soy Bomb here. He said that at one point, someone on the message board actually said, basically offering up Soy Bomb as a victim, if you will, saying, there's one place like that in my city too. So now shortly after this, the owner of Soy Bomb started, he got a visit from a fire inspector one day, and very shortly after, it just went downhill from there. I'm not going to go into detail for detail. I don't have all the details. I know that the owner is going through a lot right now with this. I know he's trying to get things back rolling, from what I do understand, from what I've read. I would love to get him on the show. Jason, if you're listening, I would love to have you here, bud, to hear some more about this. Obviously, music lovers in Toronto and punk rock lovers, hardcore lovers are really concerned with what's going on, and it's crazy. So, we love our venues. We don't want to see them go, and it would definitely be nice if Mayor John Tory decides to go ahead with that and start supporting the local scene a little better. I mean, it would be nice to see some more money going into annual events like Canadian Music Week or like Indie Week, or to have even more festivals. Like we have the Toronto Film Festival, which is huge. It brings tons of people. It's great for the local economy. It fills hotels, taxis, limousines, Ubers, restaurants, venues, bars, you name it. It's nothing but good for the city. We should be dumping more money into this stuff. I don't understand why it's not a staple, something that it's very important for us, and it will only bring us more money. So hey, why not, right? Anyway, like I said, Stacked Show. I'm wasting all of your time right now. Excuse me. Coming up next, we got Biff Cuisine. We're going to go into our new weekly segment where we give you guys the lowdown on what to go see this week. If you're in Ontario, if you're not in Ontario, I'm sorry. We're working on it, man. We're only a small crew here. Anyway, show listings coming up. After that, I've got Eric Camilleri. He's the CEO, founder of Gigfly, as well as Chaos Promotions. And then later on, I got Scott Middleton from Cancer Bats, Bat Sabbath fame. He's going to be giving me just some details about what the Cancer Bats are up to right now, kind of growing up in the band, and what he's doing in terms of his new project. We're also going to hear music by the Cancer Bats, as well as Big Dirty, Mocha Mocha Eye, Metallion, and this one right here is Action doing Thor's Ride of the Chariots. We'll be back. Alright, so we're back, and like I promised, we're starting a new segment this week. It's a bit of a weekly concert listings, so you know where to go and see some music and probably get drunk, get a little belligerent. So, to kick off this new segment, we've got our good friend here, Biff Cuisine, who's going to give us some weekly concert listings. What's up, Biff?
Hey, Adam. How's it going?
I'm alright, man. I'm alright. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. This is looking to be a pretty good weekend of music in the local scene.
Sweet. I mean, it's all over fucking Ontario, really. So, I mean, local here, local there. It's
yeah, well, southern Ontario mainly. It doesn't go up much further than like St. Catharines or whatnot.
Nice. Well, I mean, on that note, I guess whoever's listening, if we're falling a little short on these listings going forward, give us a holler, let us know, send us a comment, say, hey, you're missing my city. We've got concerts going on all over the place, and people should know. So, hey, send us something. We'll do it. Anyway, Renee, what's up, man? What's going on this week? Tell us.
All right. Well, kicking us off, Wednesday, May 3rd. As you probably know, Anthrax is currently on tour with Killswitch Engage. They're playing at the Danforth Music Hall in Toronto. Yeah. That's starting at 5:30, early show. And then coming up next day, Star Wars Day, May the 4th. I'm real excited about that. We got Primitive Evolution playing with Proto Cult at Stop, Drop, and Roll in Toronto. That's kicking off at 8 p.m. with an art exhibition, and that's going to run until 9:30, and that's when the bands are going on. And then after that, we got Friday, May 5th. We got Shotgun Cure, Shit Liver, Sick of Shit, and Trigger Warning. Great band names there. I'd love to go see that show myself. That's at Mikado Bar and Lounge in St. Catharines. Doors at 5 p.m. That's another early show there. But, it's a Friday. You get off work, go see a show. Good time. And then we got Mothership Landing. They're dropping a new album. And playing with them is Majora and Bespin. Another Star Wars name there. Love that. That's at Warehouse in St. Catharines. Doors 8 p.m. So, if you want to make 2 shows in St. Catharines the same night, you got the opportunity there.
Little bar hopping that night, I see.
Cool, right, bud. Next up, we got Toronto. This is still Friday, May 5th. We got a cover show. The Dio Years and Judas Rising. That's Ronnie James Dio covers, as well as Judas Priest, Rob Halford era covers.
Fuck yeah.
That is at the Rock Pile in Toronto. Great venue. Doors at 9 p.m. Definitely a show worth checking out. 2 great bands. And then another show in Toronto, we got the Metal Queen Showcase. Now, band we love, Adam and myself, Lutharo is on this list. Nothing Left for Tomorrow, Paxson, NLP, and Vile Oath. That's at the Coalition in Toronto. Definitely a show to check out. And then next up, we got Saturday, May 6th. Gypsy Chief Goliath, Vesperia, 2 great bands, My Hollow, Devils by Definition, and Chains. That's at Dominion House in Windsor. Doors at 6 p.m. there. And not too much going on Saturday, it looks like. And then Sunday, one last show, May 7th, The Kindred, Illusiona, A World in Pictures, At Dawn's Edge, and Middleton, playing at the Smiling Buddha in Toronto. Doors at 8. That's also going to be a killer show there.
Fuck yeah.
So looking like a good week for music in the local scene.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, it's good. And I think, as the weather gets a little nicer now, all the bands come out to play, right? Everybody starts going on tour again. The Canadian winter is over. We don't have to worry about going on the road, flipping our vans, and all of that,
Risk our heads just to get to a show 2 cities over. I feel you, man. It's going to be an exciting summer.
Yeah, I'm all for, losing $500 to go flip a van. Sure.
Oh,
but,
absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Fit as many people in, as many beers as you can in.
That's right. Fucking YOLO, right, man? Fucking YOLO.
Fucking YOLO.
But anyway, Biff, thank you. We're going to have Biff every week telling us concert listings all over. Like I said, let us know if we're missing your city, or if you're a promoter, you want us to tell us or tell people about what's going on in your area. Let us know. We try to keep track of as much shit as we can, but of course, only a couple of people and can only do so much. So let us know if we're missing you, and we will tell the people, as Jim Morrison once said. So anyway, take it easy. We're going to take another musical break right here. Cheers. Cheers, Biff.
Cheers.
Coming up next, we got a band from Hamilton, Ontario called Big Dirty. The song's called Tank Mammoth. It's an awesome tune. And then right after that, we're going to have Eric Camilleri of Gigfly and Chaos Promotions in here, followed by Scott Middleton of the Cancer Bats. So stick around. We got lots in store for you guys. Lots of good music as well. All right, so I'm back with Eric Camilleri, Gigfly at Chaos Promotions. What's going on, Eric?
Nothing much. Just getting ready for my diaper party tonight. So
Nice.
yeah, and thank you for having me on the podcast.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. Well, I mean, like, I want to bring people on here that, you've been doing a lot. I mean, you've had Chaos Promotions. You had a production company too. I think it was, or a label. Sorry, was it Ghost House Productions?
Ghost Vision, yeah, Ghost Vision Records. Ghost Vision's kind of on the back burner right now, just because I just got so tied up with Chaos Promotions. I had a crazy year when I had Summer Slaughter come to Hamilton. I did so many shows, and then I kind of just had to hold off on the label for now, and then Gigfly popped up. So
sure,
yeah.
Well, Gigfly is amazing, man. I mean, for those who don't know about it, it's a platform for I guess musicians, promoters, venues. I mean, tell us about it, man.
Yeah, so Gigfly is basically it's like the back end like social media for musicians. So what I mean by kind of back end is you're not promoting yourself on that site to people to get fans. It's more of a back end, like a back alleyway where you can go in and you can get in touch with promoters and venues and other bands and talk secretly behind, instead of just kind of promoting yourself on Facebook. Like we're looking for a tour, and then that kind of doesn't look really professional. So now you can go on the website on gigfly.ca and register and connect with people and swap shows and get in touch with promoters and get in touch with venues and so it's a different realm. Instead of just going on Facebook and showing yourself in a way which isn't really professional.
Man, I couldn't agree with you more. One thing I tell you, and I'm a local musician myself, it makes me cringe. I'm honestly not trying to say, I'm not trying to talk down. I'm nobody, but it makes me cringe when it's like, local bands want to play this, and it's like a million guys are just tagging their own bands, and it's like that. It just looks bad. Yep.
Yeah, and then people tag me and stuff, and and obviously I can't answer, and I'm pretty busy too, so I wish I could help everyone out. So and a lot of bands have came to me and say, Eric, can you manage us? You've been so successful doing this and that, and I'm like, I wish I could help you out even more, but I just don't have time.
Yeah,
and that's where I created Gigfly. It can help every single musician, anyone all over around the world. We have templates on there for contracts and advance sheets on there and adding your contacts, and so it's a full package. Well, I don't think it's a full package yet, but there's a lot of tools on there that are going to help just even big or small musicians.
Yeah.
And we have a lot more coming up too. So we're just trying to build our user base. We're going to listen to a bunch of users. Get some feedback, and then we're going to be doing a lot of upgrades coming up too. So
nice. I mean, it really for me again, as it's like a management tool for a band. So I mean, you kind of take the management position out of the whole picture, because the band can now go on there and like you said, now they can have their a place to manage contacts when it comes to venues, booking the tour. Like you have a tour planner. You've got the contract templates. It's a really awesome tool for a band to sit down and not have a million different documents and have to maintain their own records of contacts and things like that. It's wicked.
Exactly. And you also have to remember like a lot of managers now, we're in a weird realm right now of in the music industry. Yeah. I find a lot of bands are getting ripped off by a lot of people, including the managers. I'm not saying all managers are like that, so don't shit on me for saying that. I see people saying blah, blah, blah. But no, it's like good cops and bad cops now.
Of course.
So, and the way I see it, I've done this for 10 years. I've seen the shit end of the stick, and I've seen the good end of the stick. So, and the rewards. And a lot of people, I feel like bands need to start managing themselves now, big or small, doing it a different way. Yeah. Managers not taking 50% and putting them in their pockets. That money should be going in the hands of the artists that has worked their asses off to make the music, put it together. That's making music could take years.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you hire a manager that's taking 50%. It's just not right.
No.
So.
And I think that
this is,
like they deserve to be, and like yourself too. I think that you made a really good point before when you said about not having time. I think that's a big thing for a guy to say, especially if you're in the management business, to be able to say to a band that's coming to you and saying, "Hey, we want your services," to be able to say, "I don't have time." That's a really honest guy right there, as opposed to, you want to watch out for, I guess, those managers that are like, they're going to hire anybody. They don't care if they have a roster of 25 people. They're probably not going to do much for your band, but they'll take
100%.
your money.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the problem now. And, these guys are sending out just a couple emails, and they're getting 50%. So, and then the band that is struggling, that have families, some of them have families, and they're on the road, and they're making peanuts. So you're making $25 a night. That's nothing.
No, yeah.
That's nothing. So,
for sure.
And that's the main purpose of why Gigfly started. It's to help everyone out and all the bands. And hopefully, I don't know if it's going to take off huge. I don't know. But the reason why I created it wasn't money-based. It wasn't anything like that. It was to help the musical community and to put more money in the artist's pocket.
Yeah, well, you know what? I've been following this thing since you started it, and even before you launched it, I remember you messaged me and told me about it, and it's great, man. I see it as nothing but a wicked tool. It is a needed thing, I think, because it does take away from that front end social media factor of having to throw yourself out like a desperate handout. Give me a show, exactly. Right? So so I think it is a good tool. People just need to hear about it. So all the best to that. And you guys are sponsoring shows as well. So you got a what is it, Beer Fest or something?
Yeah, we're doing Beer Fest. We're sponsoring Harbor. They're going on tour. We just sponsored the Guinness Book of Records that just broke the longest concert ever. And
I heard.
They just smashed that record. They beat it by 2 days, which is awesome. So we were a big part of that.
Nice.
We're just trying to get ourselves out there with festivals and stuff. We got some metal festivals that we're going to be sponsoring too, and providing a bunch of stuff for them. And we're just trying to get our name out there, and hopefully people will see the Gigfly name and check it out, because I feel like even if you're not going to use the website, it's just good to have a profile there, because we have a lot of people that scroll through those profiles.
Yeah.
Like even managers and different other people are scrolling through them now, and people that run casinos and bars that are looking for tribute bands, they're actually scouting that website. So
there you go.
Even if you're not going to use the tool, just throw your profile up there, and you never know, someone might just contact you up there, and it might be a big break, it might be a small break. But any break is better than no break.
Well, it's a contact. It's networking, and that's honestly, I think that's the most important thing of all. You can have the best music in the world if you have no networking skills whatsoever, or no intention to. You're not going to do anything with it, unfortunately, right?
Yes, yeah. For sure, man.
So, Eric, man, it was really great having you. I think this thing's gonna go big, man. I believe in it. I think that, like I said, just more musicians just need to know about it. It's still young, man. Like LinkedIn is a similar thing. It's just a different platform where I found myself as well. I left a profile on there like 5 years ago, and then when I was looking for jobs a couple of years back, I opened it up, and there was like a ton of messages. So these things grow. They take time. But it's a great platform. I recommend everybody check it out. Gigfly Inc. Check it out on Facebook. What is it? Gigfly.ca?
Yeah, Gigfly.ca, and on Facebook it's facebook.com/Gigfly Inc.
Sweet.
And we're on Instagram too at Gigfly Inc.
Nice. Okay, buddy. Well, listen, man. You take care. All the best. Good luck with Gigfly Chaos Promotions, and keep doing what you're doing, man.
All right, thanks, man. Thanks for the support.
Oh, for sure. Take care. Okay, now we're going to check out Beelzebub by the Cancer Bats. This is off their album Searching for Zero. And stick around, guys, because right after that, we got Scott Middleton. All right, so I'm back with Scott Middleton from Cancer Bats, Bat Sabbath. They've been pretty damn busy, actually. Just finished a tour through Canada, and now in June going to be hitting the road, going to UK with the Temple as well as Goddamn for some dates there. Scott, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, dude?
I am good. So we just heard Beelzebub. That's from Searching for Zero. I mean, what are you guys doing? Are you guys working on new stuff, or you're just hitting the road right now and just keeping busy?
Yeah, I mean, we started doing some Bat Sabbath shows again. And for anyone who doesn't know, it's like for the last 5 years, kind of had this fun side band where we kind of play Black Sabbath songs in kind of the style of Cancer Bats, and we just have a lot of fun with it, and just kind of like it's not like a direct tribute kind of band. We're not necessarily wearing costumes or anything and trying to look like the guys. We just have a lot of fun and play our favorite songs from one of our favorite bands of all time. And anyways, this has been something we've been doing sort of in between albums a lot of times. We have a little bit of downtime and we don't want to overplay on Cancer Bat stuff. Still miss going out on the road. We tend to do some Bat Sabbath shows, here or there, and part of the reason we got together to do this one and why it worked out with the Canadian run that we just did is because our drummer Mikey, he got married and moved to Winnipeg, and him and his wife were having a baby soon, so he had to be close to home, and the rest of us were all out in Toronto. So it's kind of time to start maybe talking about writing some new Cancer Bat songs. So we decided to get together and use Mikey's new basement to jam and try and write some new riff ideas and see what we could get going. And then it was kind of we're together. Why don't we play some shows on the weekend? So we kind of did a weekend run out to Alberta, and then we did Winnipeg, Thunder Bay, Timmins, and Ottawa, and then headed back down to Southern Ontario and did London and Hamilton and Toronto, and and then in between that, we wrote a few new riffs. I wouldn't say we necessarily have keeper songs that we're ready to play for anybody yet, but we're just kind of getting the juices flowing. We took a little bit of time off, and we hadn't really played any shows since July, and we were all kind of doing our own thing and just relaxing a bit, and it kind of felt good to get back together for the first time in a while.
Yeah, hell yeah, man! I bet it did.
Yeah.
It's good, man. I mean, you guys are keeping busy. It's and that's what happens, right? I guess guys, start getting married, start having kids, so a little more break time here and there.
Well, exactly, man. It's funny, going through these changes. We're all kind of in our mid-30s now, and we've been doing the band for over 10 years, and it's crazy to be at that point, and it's oh shit, we're all growing up.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing, and sometimes it's a little scary, but mostly it's all something we're really excited about.
Yeah.
And we're all really happy. Mike is going to be a dad soon, and probably any day now. Honestly, we're waiting to find out when that's going to happen.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
It's cool, and so we're going to see how we adapt to that, and the changes going through. But we're all stoked and really positive moving forward for the next record. We're just gonna we're not gonna rush anything. We're gonna make sure whatever it is we do, we're 1,000% stoked on, and really do justice for our sixth album. It's crazy to think about. There's been that many. So yeah,
for sure.
But all the Bat Sabbath stays were with it, man. It's really amazing. The kind of legacy that band has, and playing those songs, it's just it puts a smile on people's faces, and man, it's so much fun for us to play and do those things in our own way, and
yeah, man,
and it's cool. We kind of we finish off the set, kind of an encore of a little quick best of Cancer Bats mini set, and and it was just always a good time, and most of the shows were sold out, and really looking forward to heading to Europe in June.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's sweet. I actually, like, this is going back like 10 years ago. I used to play in an actual Black Sabbath tribute, the dress up and everything. I was like 16 years old at the time.
No way. What's
Yeah, yeah. So I'm totally with this whole thing, man.
Yeah. Oh man. See, I gotta ask you for some pointers.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I kind of did my own.
What did you play in your band?
Well, I'm a guitar player, so I was Iomi there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the bars didn't know. I was only 16, but I think that's how most of us started, I think, you know.
Amazing. How did you deal with, like, his guitar solos where he layers, like, 3 solos on top of each other?
Honestly, yeah, that was the issue. I used to just wail out on, like, pentatonics for the whole time, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I do, you know. I kind of, like, try and, like, you know, there's certain songs, like NIB and Paranoid and stuff like that, where it's, like, you know, the real hits, so I kind of try and keep close to the original as best I can. And then some of the other ones are kind of just like, I've kind of like written my own solos, and I know like where I'm going to play and at what points, and I just have fun with it. And you know, nobody ever seems bummed on that. And it's like, and even when you watch like the old Sabbath videos, like you go on YouTube and all that stuff, it's like, I mean, so many times he's just doing something different anyway.
Yeah.
They're constantly changing around their songs. So.
Exactly. Yeah. They just change it. They play live. They have fun with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's cool, man. That's really cool. So, I guess, I mean, you're also producing a lot of stuff now. What's going on with that?
Yeah, man. Like, something, you know, it's kind of funny. Like back when the Bat started, one of the first things I did was like, I was in like recording school. Kind of like not too long after high school, a couple years later, I went to recording school, and it was something I always wanted to do, and I had a blast, and it was kind of like the first time I ever like really enjoyed going to school, because I was basically, you know, learning the thing I cared most about, which was music, and you know, one of the things is when you graduated, everybody got like a week of free recording time at the studio at the school.
Nice.
So I used that like week of recording time to record like the first Cancer Bats demo.
Yeah.
And so like I was like really excited that I could use some of the things I was learning to like make my own music. You know, like that was the number one most exciting thing for me. And you know, I go back and listen to that and I can laugh at, you know, like how bad it sounds in comparison to stuff I can do now. but at the time I was so excited, and it just felt like this really like amazing thing to like have these skills that let me, you know, record my full band and like, you know, and be able to like use that to go on our first tours and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, man.
You know, and this is stuff that like, you know, every time I went into the studio with the Bats since then, because like basically like, you know, at that point I didn't really think I was going to be a professional musician. Like it was kind of like I was always in bands and we did some touring here or there, but none of it ever really went anywhere. And so I was kind of like going to this, you know, recording school because I thought, well, yeah, maybe I'll be a producer or an engineer one day, and like that, I'll get a job at a studio and, you know, and clean floors and give people coffee and you know, like whatever, like
something
what
musical.
what everybody tells you that like, you know, the studio assistant is going to have to do. I'm like, whatever, but I was like honestly most excited about how I could apply those skills on my own music.
Nice.
And as well, and because like the Bats kind of took off right away after that, I didn't really get a chance throughout the last, you know, I guess like maybe like 10 years before that, like to get in the studio and like work with other bands. It just like it wasn't something that really happened all that much.
Yeah.
And I was always basically like learning off of like recording Cancer Bats demos and then going in the studio, and I would like pick the brains of like, you know, the guys who were like producing our albums and stuff. And I remember Eric Ratt on one of our records, there was one, and I was like, I really started getting excited and asking too many annoying questions to him. He's like, listen, Scott, every time you ask me a question, you got to put a loony in the jar. You know? And, you know, and he would stop me and be like, well, what's this? What are you doing here? What's this trick? You know? And like, really like trying to to learn all I could, and but those guys were great, and they were always really helpful. And like, you know, we worked with Ross Robinson on our last record, and he's been like a really cool mentor to me as well, and always happy to give me advice when I need it. And anyways, like a few years ago, like you know, aside from like recording a few small things for bands here and there, a local band called Hounds, which I don't know, some people might know, they're on New Damage Records. They're a great punk rock band, and basically, yeah, like I was friends with a bunch of those guys and heard that they were looking to record an album, and I was just, you know, I was like, hey, like I'm all set up in the Bats like practice studio, like why don't you come down and like I'll record you guys, and then, you know, so we did like a record together, and it like got signed and like put out right away, and I was like really stoked because, you know what I mean, it was like my first sort of full album.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Doing that. Yeah, and so like kind of since then, you know, I mean, the Bats got busy again, but I kind of kept like thinking, hey, wow, this felt so good. This is something I want to like really, really keep doing. So, so last year I started working with another local Toronto band called Speaker, and helping them produce and write and record their album and stuff. And so that's about to come out. I did another record with a more like kind of metal band called Out of the Ruins, which are really cool. I went to Spain.
Yeah, I've heard of those guys. I know of them for sure.
Yeah, they're great. They're super. It's getting mixed right now. I can't wait to really do that. I went to Spain, and I like, I don't know if you know where the Canary Islands are, but it's like the Spanish islands off the coast of Africa. And
totally.
And this band from there called This Drama, who are like this sort of melodic hardcore punk band. They flew me out there to like produce their album, and that went like so well.
Nice.
And and I'm just constantly picking up new bands to work with now. It's like, it's been kind of like this revelation for me to like really, I don't know, get in the practice room with these bands and kind of like impart the knowledge that I've learned over the years, and kind of help mentor them and like teach them the things that other people really taught me that made a difference to my music and my band and career. And it's like, you know, kind of pay that forward and really like go in and do something where I can help people.
Of course.
And it's just so satisfying that way. Like it's amazing. And I have like a ton of fun doing it. And that's my whole thing. Like, I just want to make like great records with great songs. Like, that's always number one. Like, I really have to like believe in the music and the songs that I, you know, help these bands put in, because I'm doing a disservice to them if I don't, you know, like, for me, it's not about money, it's about quality and being really excited about what I'm doing, and it's about helping people, you know, and getting me excited about music again too. I think like it's really easy to kind of get jaded with the amount of music that's like available and gets thrown at us every day because of the internet.
Totally.
Like, the access is there, but there's not necessarily like the quality of music, or like, I don't know.
You know, it's hard, man. It's hard to get through to the gold with all there's millions of stuff. I mean,
absolutely. And I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, even if I'm working with a band and maybe like I don't love like exactly what they're doing, I think, okay, here's my chance to like impart what I would love to hear.
Sure.
What I would love to, you know, improve about a band or about their songs or any of those things. And like, I mean, maybe that sounds selfish, but like,
no,
it's just I want to get excited about music, and
well, listen, like,
you know, and not even just making my own music. You know what I mean? Because that's like the ultimate fun, selfish thing, is like being in a band and writing your own songs, right?
Absolutely.
And it's like, well, you know, I'm like, okay, well, how can I like take a band that's, you know, mediocre and make them great? I'm just always thinking about like, how can I prove something and get it so that like I just want to like headbang as much as possible and crank the songs when I'm driving, you know, like whatever. It's just it's about those just like simple, honest emotions, you know, and reconnecting with music for me.
Well, let's face it too. Like as musicians, do we not hate the yes? I mean, for a guy like myself who's not, technically inclined when it comes to audio mastering or mixing, for that matter, I would rather have a guy that's gonna sit there and say, "Hey, listen, I'm happy to help you guys, but I think you should be doing, try this, try that." Not a dictator, of course, like you say, but somebody that can kind of have input and really kind of help shape the sound. You're the producer, so that's.
Well, for sure. I mean, honestly, I think like there's so many engineers and great engineers. Like anybody can make your band sound decent. They can take like what you put in, even if you can barely play, and they can, rearrange all your bad notes and your bad drumming and your bad singing, and they can make it sound like something possible. Literally, like you can find so many great engineers that can do that stuff.
Absolutely.
And I'm trying to look at the different approach of like, how can I make your songs better? How can I make what you're doing more interesting before that awesome engineer hits record?
Yeah.
And it's like I like engineering as well, but it's like I like to dig in even further into the DNA of the band and ask them why they're doing this, why they want to put, if there's like a song that really sticks out and, there's a big question mark about like why this song has to be on the record. Is it the best one? Is it just because you wrote this and it has a really long guitar solo and that's why you want to keep this in there because it's your like moment of showing off, but like nobody else really wants to hear that. Like,
yeah, you're totally right, man.
I really like to ask questions of the bands and understand their intentions and why, and really kind of show them that like, listen, like your job is to like, if you want to be a professional musician, if that's your goal, your job is to entertain people. So you kind of have to like listen to your producer who's saying like, hey, you know what? This doesn't make me feel good when I hear this.
Yeah.
It's not even, I'm not picking apart something because I don't like you. It's not personal. I'm just telling you that either this song doesn't make me feel good or this song where I have a lot of questions about, there's just one or two really great parts. Why don't those happen more?
Yeah.
Why are you going off into this like endless cycle of a million different riffs in a song when you've got like three great ones? If you structure them properly, you can have an amazing song that people are going to remember and sing along to and, get really into when you perform them. And I'm always trying to, to push bands to recognize those things. Because it's so hard to see when you're the creator. It's really hard to see those things.
Absolutely, I agree.
And I recognize this even about, like, my own music. And it's really, difficult because just because you write something, you're immediately attached to it a lot of times.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to ask the right questions of yourself unless you're kind of really experienced. You've done it so many times. And it really took, like, other people that we work with, like, giving us those kinds of questions and making us sort of look at the way we write songs before we started making changes to write better songs. And immediately, once we did that, it helped our band, and we improved. And that's what I want to do for other people.
Yeah, no, that's really excellent advice there. I mean, you're part of a production team at that point when you're recording, and it's like I agree, man. You need to really take the constructive criticism for what it is if you're the creator, and don't be afraid to sort of swallow your pride at times and say, hey, maybe it is that guitar solo, like you said, that I'm really hard to ditch or hard to, whatever. It's so I completely agree.
For sure, and it was really cool, like. Throughout the years, it's like, the guys we worked with, for like our first 4 records, like really challenged us with songwriting and like musicianship and pushed us to be the players we are today. Really, we learned so much from those guys. And the cool thing was working with like Ross, he challenged us not only in songwriting, but like on an emotional level. Like,
nice.
Always asking like, okay, why are you singing this? What are the lyrics about? Okay, why do you feel this way? Tell us like your feelings and your intention behind what you're playing. And he was always trying to make sure that they're like the rest of the band was on the same page and feeling the same kind of intent behind the song. because he
Nice.
just never wanted anything to just be played just for the sake of it.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
wasn't him. It's like you've gotta like really give yourself, you know, to this record. Everything had that purpose, and I really appreciated those things because he has such like a raw and organic and live approach to recording that was so different than the modern way a lot of guys do stuff and a lot of the stuff that I had learned previously, and it blew my mind. Like I didn't know what to think. I was just like, you know, it was awesome because that was our whole purpose of working with him. We wanted to be challenged, and
It's like
the cool
spiritual.
thing was, but not. We didn't even think of it like that. We were just like, oh yeah, we want someone who's going to push us, and like we heard like Ross pushing people hard. We weren't expecting this like emotional overload, you know, and you know that we ended up with, like really,
Nice.
and but it's cool because you can hear it in the songs, and it's so different, and we really had to go through those things to like grow, and
Wow.
and I wasn't expecting to like have that kind of experience in my 30s after having already like, you know, recording for like 10 years.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
It was really like eye-opening, and it really changed the way I like think about music, and you know, and taught me that there's so many different ways about recording and producing and writing music, and yeah, it's just exciting.
I'd
you know,
say.
and it gives me a lot of hope because I really hate when things get stale and predictable, and so that was such a real moment for me when I like realized the value of what Ross was showing us.
Yeah, that is awesome, man.
Yeah.
All right, so Scott, man, thanks a ton for coming on. It was a pleasure having you and listening to some what you're up to there. You can visit Scott on his Facebook page, Scott Middleton, producer, musician. Also, www.cancerbats.com for their latest. And yeah, man, take it easy. Have some fun in UK.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me on.
No problem, Scott. Take care.
Cheers.
Cheers. So here's a band out of Peterborough, Ontario. They're a favorite of mine, actually. They're called Mocha Mokai. This is their song, Heavy Metal Sky. Well, thanks again, guys, for listening. Next week's going to be a stacked show as well. We have the heavy metal wizard himself, Morgan Ryder of Vesperia, formerly of Crimson Shadows. We're going to be talking about everything from heavy metal touring as well as homemade mead. Coming up next, we got a band from Montreal, Quebec. They're called Metallion. This one's called Metal, Fire, and Ice. Have a good week, everybody.